Shit 90 Shows Taught Me.
Shit 90 Shows Taught Me was not filmed before a live studio audience.
Are you ready to slay another day? So are we. Welcome back to Shit 90 Shows Taught Me. I'm Jess Sterling here with my co-host, Sarah Humphrey. Sarah, how are you?
Jess, I got something really funny to tell you. Want to hear it?
Yeah.
I got something really fucking funny to tell you.
What?
Spike is a fucking dweeb. He is a fucking dweeby ass loser. He is a sniveling, bad poetry writing fucking Dorcas. Who the fuck knew? Who the fuck knew? I certainly didn't. William the Bloody because he writes bloody bad poems? I didn't know that. So good. So good. So good. I took notes. I took notes today, baby.
Oh, like you're waving yourself.
Well, yeah, I wrote the notes on my cell phone and then I transferred it to my computer, but I can't wave my computer around. But he's a fucking dork, Jessica. A dork. Can you believe it?
We'll get into all of it. Yes. We're obviously talking about season 5, episode 7, Fool for Love. But of course, we're not alone. Really unsurprising to have a guest for an episode, or I should say a couple of episodes like this, if you want to include the Angel episode. Hannah is joining us today. Hi, Hannah. How are you?
I'm good. I was telling you before we started, I'm nervous. I chose too good an episode. I think it's like going to a museum and you can barely draw and you're like, critique or like talk about this painting that is a masterpiece.
Don't undersell yourself. I think you'll be perfectly fine. I think this is like a very fun episode to talk about, and obviously in my opinion, feels like a very important episode, like almost like a landmark episode here. Also, of course, because we did do Cordy's Corner. Sarah and I both watched the Angel episode, which we're also going to get into. There's a lot of tie-ins here with both of those.
I did too. I watched it. I bought it for $1.99
to watch the episode of Angel.
So,
I did.
Understand, Hannah. Why couldn't you just pirate it like the rest of us?
I'm not in good practice.
We do no such thing, Sarah.
We canceled it. Yeah. I didn't pirate it. I don't know how. And I paid the $1.99 to watch.
And she said it was well worth it. So there you go.
It was amazing. Yeah. I made you guys put me in the Buffy guest group chat, and my original plan was to ask them for help or thoughts on such a good episode. And then I'm a busy grad student now, so I didn't. But hopefully I do a good enough job. I think
you'll do a great job.
That I made you create.
No, I think you'll be fine. So yeah, let's talk about this episode. I've kind of broken this up a little bit into like, we have Buffy on her own. We have like the Buffy and Spike of it all the Spike flashbacks, which we have to talk through. And then of course I do also want to have a little bit of a Riley moment because I do think there's some interesting stuff happening with him. But let's start where the episode starts with Buffy getting stabbed. And Sarah, this feels notable because like when Riley questions her on it, it wasn't some like big bad. It wasn't like a huge group. It was one guy. He was a regular vampire. She slipped up and he stabbed her and like could have hit an organ or something.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it was apparently a really deep wound. Everybody has a bad day. That's the thing. But like when your job is literally fighting for your life, I guess you don't really have a lot of room to have a bad day. When I have a bad day, I just have a millionaire yell at me about a bunch of pillows. When Buffy has a bad day, she literally could get killed. So
it's life or death for Buffy. And it was almost death. And I love that this freaks her out, Hannah. This really sends her on a little bit of a spiral of I'm not doing enough. And we know that since the beginning of the season, she's already on this like quest of finding out about past Slayers, about learning more about her own, past. And so she's really been studying a lot, really been working hard. And this feels like a very interesting time for this all to go down, where Hannah, it feels like this is the most work she's put into being the Slayer in terms of studying and physically training and all. Like she's a training room now. And so it comes at a really interesting time where now is the moment that she gets injured. And, I don't know, Hannah, part of me felt like it was a mental thing for her because I feel like has never had more plates spinning in her life, right? Like her mom is sick, and I think that is really affecting her psyche and making her slip up while on the job.
Yeah, no, this is a really interesting episode and an interesting moment. It's an episode 7, and I think we've talked about this before. Episode 7s in Buffy tend to be big, like important thesis statement episodes. Like Lie to Me, the one where that fake watcher took the glove of Midigot, like it propels the plot or it propels the theme, right? And so this one, it doesn't really propel the big bad. We don't even see the lady in red, right?
Unfortunately for all of us, because
unfortunately, I love
Hannah,
how much you love her. Yeah, no, she's great.
Thank you.
I needed
to give you an opportunity because she's not going to be on this episode, so obviously you won't have a chance to really talk about her. But you loved her, right? You love her.
No, of
She's
course,
great.
of course.
Okay,
especially when you compare her to, like, as much as we love season 4, you guys have made us all love season 4 again. There's just no comparison between Adam and the lady in red. It's just like if you have to watch a scene with Adam and versus the lady in red, you're like, I want to watch like the beautiful lady beat people up and be unhinged. Yeah, she's fantastic. But yeah, it is part mental, but I think it's also just like she said, she just lost the fight. Like everyone kept looking for why this random vampire stabbed her, and like Sarah said, it was just a bad day on the job. And it's also a reminder that, like, you know, part of the Slayer thing from season 1 has been they die young. She's like past her expiration date of when Slayers usually go.
Yeah. And
she's an old 20-year-old. Yeah.
We see that a lot this episode in a lot of the Spike flashbacks. And Sarah, so luckily though for her, Riley is there. He helps out. Yeah. He is there for backup.
Look who's helpful now that he's kind of like hanging around. Yeah, he saved her life. Like she would have either gotten further attacked by this vampire or like bled out in the whole place. So I thought, because the coming attractions, or like the previous Leons rather, was so Spike heavy, I thought it was gonna be like Spike coming in to save her, because doesn't he live in the graveyard? So that was a little bit of a surprise for me, because I was like, oh, Riley's there. I thought it was going to be Spike. Of course, like the entire rest of the episode was very Spike focused, but in that moment, Riley was really clutch, and he like beats up the dude, chases her away, is able to bring her back to her home and like clean her up, clean her wound. Like I guess from his military training, he kind of has like some like wound expertise. She refuses to go to the hospital because apparently
not great.
Well, I think that she's afraid of it going through insurance, and then her insurance is under her mom, and then like her mom will get the claim, the benefit claims, the claims of benefits, the explanation of benefits, and then she'll be like, "Oh, what's this?" So I think like that's like one of the reasons why she didn't want to tell her mom. I thought like I mean, like I guess it's because her mom is not doing so well. She doesn't want any extra attention on her. Once again, the oldest daughter's plight. But talking about Dawn, actually, Dawn was pretty clutch in that scene as well. So I think that Dawn is finding her role of being like helpful younger sister instead of I want to give you a wedgie younger sister, which is good.
Dawn definitely helped in the scene. I love that she, like, when she wanted to see Buffy's wound and she's like, oh cool, you know, like
I'm like that too. I'm so sick. I love to see like disgusting things. Like
I messed up once. My cousin is a surgeon. No. Like she's a surgeon. She was a surgeon in New York, and she had this phone. She was like, "Oh, I have the inside of a body. Do you want to see?" And my mom and my best friend stepped back, like, "No, of course we don't want to see." Yeah. I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, I would want to see it too.
And I was immediately a mistake. It was one of those things where I didn't think about what I was going to see and sort of the existential crisis I would have. I want to say I thought Riley was I think this episode shows Riley at his best and his worst. And I think that's so fun. Like if Riley was just a hot medic TA, I'm into it. Like that's the Riley I want.
You want him to be the Dr. Ben role. Is that his name, Dr. Ben?
Dr. Ben. Dr. Ben. Yeah.
Holy fuck.
I want him to be the TA again. But with like medic skills.
Yes.
I'm just into a TA.
So Buffy doesn't want to like bother Joyce. She doesn't want her to know. She doesn't want to go to the hospital, whether for insurance claims or because, it'll be a burden on Joyce. So they keep it all hush hush. But this has really then sent her spiraling. And she is going to be studying up with Giles on like, how did this happen? How did the Slayers get killed? What can I do to avoid being killed? Meanwhile, I think we should now talk about Riley because everything else is going to be very Buffy Spike focused. So I think now's the time to talk through some of Riley's stuff. Buffy asks Riley to go patrol. He wants to do it alone, but she says, no, you got to take the Scoobies. I want you to take the Scoobies with you. The Scoobies are so unhelpful.
They're so amazing. I have a favorite moment in it though. When Riley says,
chips?
when Riley says, could you put those potato chips away? And Willow says, got it, takes a handful and then puts it away. This is why I relate to Willow. I just...
Yeah, that's obviously what he meant, is to like grab a couple. One of my favorite like side moments in this episode, obviously there's so much good Buffy Spike stuff, but like one of my favorite like Scooby moments is when they are like all like, we have Xander, Anya, and Willow following Riley around in the cemetery. And there's one moment, and like, first of all, Anya's outfit for slaying is unhinged. Like she's wearing like a skirt and like, I think she's wearing heels. There's one moment where she goes to run after everyone else and she takes her scarf and throws it over her shoulder and then just starts running.
Like a cape.
I love her. I love her so much, Sarah. She's just so funny.
Yeah, she's great. I mean, like the lot of them are absolutely fucking useless. I wouldn't want them to tag along either. Like just waste of space. But yeah, I mean, like great comedy, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, but the main the gripe I have with Riley here is he says, okay, I found all these like rock and roll like vampires, right? They're all hanging out in like a crypt, but there's too many of them for us to take on tonight. It's fine. We'll address it in the morning. We'll be able to get them obviously, unaware in the morning, much better. So let's all go home. Everyone leaves. Riley then returns, goes in, very much is like taunting them, very Buffy like, actually, like very like, I'm gonna give you banter, I'm gonna give you sass. He stakes specifically the one that hurt Buffy, then he whips out a grenade. He just has a grenade, and he explodes a building, and it is like, why though, Riley? Is it just because you can? Is it because you want to be like, I could do things on my own, I'm a big strong man, vampires go boom? Like, why are we using your grenade? You exploded a building. How are the cops not getting called? Where did you find the grenade? I have so many questions
here. I don't understand
what do you mean he exploded a building? He exploded a mausoleum
that everybody in the town knows is swarming with vampires.
But like, he could have killed if he had gone in with a group,
killed the vampires. That is literally the point.
Where did he get a grenade?
I'm sure he has a whole lot of them. He used to work for the army.
She's carrying around grenades.
He knows how to use them. He's responsible. I don't know. He probably has them in a gun safe. I don't know. He's a very responsible man, Jessica.
I mean, I feel like it's very irresponsible to go in on your own and taunt the vampires prior to them exploding them with. What if there was someone else in the freaking cemetery? Like they could have gotten hurt.
Nobody's in that cemetery. It's only vampires.
Buffy does do this all the time, but Buffy has the strength of a Slayer, and I think Riley is. I know that Riley early on in their relationship handled her being the stronger one and all these things, and maybe they were on more equal footing, but now he has a little bit of, if you can do this, I can too. And I also think he's just struggling and he wants to feel something. And the sort of, I'm going to live on the edge. I don't have a problem with the exploding of the mausoleum. Not that I encourage this to the listeners, but I have a problem.
Okay. I don't understand.
I have a problem with
him.
Hold on. I have a problem with him going into a situation that he is putting his life at risk, which he is because he is not the Slayer, and he wants to be like, I can kill a bunch of vampires, therefore I can
kill a bunch of vampires with a freaking grenade. Anybody could. It's a grenade.
That's the point. That's what I'm saying. If anybody out there wants to get a grenade and kill a bunch of vampires in a mausoleum that's swarming with vampires, in a cemetery that always swarms with vampires, that there's no actual people that go to it. Like, if Riley did this, it was like, you know what? There is a big bunch of vampires at the local Stop and Shop supermarket, and I need to take care of this. And he brings a grenade when we know that there's like a bunch of civilians around. Irresponsible, horrible, disgusting, irresponsible. This is a infested mausoleum.
But Sarah, if he just wanted to kill the vampires, if this was about safety, he would wait till it was sunny and he had the upper hand. What he wanted to do was feel something. And I think we can all agree that Riley is struggling. And instead of, he's communicated it to Xander, but he has not really communicated it. And I know she's all over the place to Buffy.
She won't listen to him.
Well,
she's busy. She's juggling so many things.
She should not be in a relationship. I agree with you.
Potentially. But my point is that if it was about killing the vampires, he would have done it, like he said, in the daytime. But
with the other Scoobies.
With other Scoobies, or without in the daytime. But the point is, he went in there with a group of 5 or 6 vampires and just hoped everything went well because he wanted to feel something.
No,
I think we can agree.
I think that
we can't agree.
No, I mean, no. I think we can agree. We can agree. I agree with you. I think that he went in there. I think it's like very much isn't it like Thanos that's like, fine, I can do it myself. Is that who it is? I don't know who did. You know that?
Sure. I have no idea.
Fine, I can do it myself. Who says that? Thanos. Oh my gosh. Once again, I am a stellar podcaster about superhero whatevers. Okay. I think like he needed to do it himself. Like he was like, I need to handle this on my own. Not great. He's going through something. I agree. I don't even disagree with you that he should not. I mean, not that lot. That lot's they're so bad. Maybe if he like brought in like a better crew, like he should not do it himself. He should not like go in with like 20 vampires and do it himself, like all by himself. That's very dangerous. But I also think that I was just surprised by we're like coming in and being like, oh, my problem is that he took out 20 vampires at once. I'm like, that's
not my problem.
The way he did it. It's the fact that he knew he lied to the Scoobies and was like, hey, let's wait till morning because he just wanted to go back on his own and be like
chips.
But that's not the reason he did that. The reason he did is because he wants to be who he used to be, which was doped up on drugs that made him super strong and lethal, and he's not that anymore, and he's feeling ways about that. And on top of that, the fact that Buffy does not reciprocate the love that he feels. I think there's a lot going on with
potentially, but we also I understand she's busy and she's dealing with her stuff with her mom and her sister, but like you can also try to communicate, which we have not seen. I would say my biggest issue is that he could be writing a syllabus in a psychology class, and he could be a character that I love, creating the readings each week. You don't need to be doped up on drugs to do that. And instead, he's like trying to die almost to feel something.
Yeah. So that's actually...
He needs to write a syllabus.
Gots to get back into academics. That's, I think, a great point, Hannah.
Make him in academia. Yes. Thank you.
I think that less so the academia part and more so that he has a death wish, because I think that like ties in with Buffy's theming of like what Spike was insinuating. And I was going to eventually say that, like, I think that he's in a place, I think he's a little depressed. Men really don't handle these like big emotions very well because of whatever stereotypical stuff. So instead of like trying to talk it out, like I think that he
was a psych TA. He could get back into academia and get a therapist.
Yes, I agree.
You and I agree on Riley.
He would
be hot as a TA.
Yes.
In therapy.
Okay. Yes,
not as what he is now.
But he's not doing that. So then I
No.
think that he is putting himself in dangerous situations, like going to Willie's every night where he is known to be hated by the people, the other patrons that go there. He's putting himself into a dangerous situation of like going solo in like with 20 I think that he is in a state of depression that is self-harm. I think that he in a way is doing self-harm. Like I think that he is like, you know what? Like if I die, at least I'm dying doing something, which is more than I can say when I sit at home and put away all of Buffy's like leather pants.
I also feel like part of it is with Buffy saying, bring the other Scoobies with you, like don't patrol alone. I do think there is an aspect of Riley that is like, I can do this by myself. Like, I don't need the other Scoobies. Like, I used to do this all the time by myself. So I'm going to do that again. And not exactly spiteful, but like very much trying to prove himself to Buffy, both because he doesn't feel worthy of her, but also because, again, she hasn't said she loves him. He said he loves her. Like, there is an aspect of him, I think, that feels like, I'm not enough. This is how I can be enough, is proving that I can do all of this on my own without any other help.
Hannah, is it true? Is it true that she's never said I love you?
I don't, not that we've heard, like when he's like, I'm so crazy about you. She's like, tell me about it. I don't, look, maybe another guest or a listener can be like, here's the clip. But I feel like she's always said other things. I will say though that like when the first scene where Buffy will get stabbed, Riley comes and saves her. And like that's the thing that like when we'll get into it, but when Spike is fighting the other Slayers, guess who's not around? Friends or family. Like we know they have them, but like Riley saves her to start. So like I think that there's a lot that obviously like you can feel for Riley, but there's a lot of things that like he's just not communicating and not doing because he literally saves her at the top of the episode. Mm-hmm. I started watching and I thought, oh, he saves her. He bandages her up. He's nice to her little sister. I'm like, yeah, this is working. And then, you know, no, because every time he's done something kind of unhinged, he's used how in love with her he is kind of as an excuse. Like, I don't think he is maybe the best communicator. Like when he got beaten up by Angel, when he tried to like fight Angel that one time, and she's like, what the heck? That would have been a good time to talk about strength and masculinity and his jealousy that all her exes were like powerful vampires and stuff. But instead he's just like, I'm crazy about you. And you're supposed to be like, aw. And that's sort of my issue with Riley for a while. I think all this tracks in his character.
Yeah. Like catch me being surprised that a 20-year-old boy, maybe 23-year-old boy can't express what he's feeling.
Neither of them can. Like Buffy isn't very good at it either. Like, you know, to be fair to him, like there's a lot of stuff she has not told him. And he's out of the loop on Dawn, right? Like he knows about Joyce and she's had some conversations with him about, but like when we get to the end of the episode and she's crying, she's not calling Riley to like cry to him. You know what I mean? Like she's by herself.
She wasn't going to call anybody.
That's the point, right? That's the point. She always takes it on herself, always.
Yeah, there's one girl in all the world. That's sort of the theme of the show. She's alone.
And we'll get into it with her and Spike stuff because he does say you have ties to the world, right? Like you have friends, you have family, like you have things that tie you here. So let's talk a little bit. Let's shift a little bit and talk about.
Well, can I ask Hannah one thing?
Okay.
Before we move on to Spike and whatever, it's not. I promise, it's not about Riley. I promise.
Oh yeah, I thought you were going to quiz me on things. I'm like,
no,
oh, gosh,
I just wanted because like we haven't spoken to you about Dawn, so like I'm like so curious about like watching it for the first time, like what your reaction was, and like if you were surprised, and also
oh my god,
I don't know if I remember where you are in the birth order of it all, but like, do you find her relatable or annoying or what? Like, so that's what I wanted to know because I don't think we're going to touch on Dawn for the rest of the episode.
Too much, yeah. Well, first of all, I feel like I texted you guys when it got revealed. I was like, I kept waiting for you guys to question it more. I feel like y'all, part of the reason I enjoy listening is that y'all question things. Like, people who love the show can sometimes just be like, I'm going to like make this make sense in my head. And y'all are like, no, I don't understand. Why did that happen? And then here's this big thing. And you guys had no questions. You were like, this is just what the show's doing. I don't remember my exact reaction, but I feel like I had a similar thing where I was like, I must be really tired. I just don't remember this sister. I also didn't watch it live when it was airing. So I think I binged it. And I think that's a different experience. Like,
yeah.
I was listening to Todd talk about it, and it's like when you have to wait a week, right? You're like thinking about, so what was that about? But when you binge it, you're just like, let me keep going until something makes sense. And I think Buffy was a show that I binged. Okay, that's the one part.
No, I think that's so funny because you did bring that up, and I told this like story about my dog that a dog that I once had, and how he had to go in for like neurotic testing or like just to make sure that he was like mentally there, and like I don't know, he was having a day, I think. So like the vet like moved like one of the parts of the neurotic the brain testing to make sure everything's working is that like you move their paw to see if they like push it back, and and he didn't push it back, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like do you think something's wrong? And like the vet was like, no, I think that he's just really docile, and if you tell him that his paw is supposed to be there, then he's just gonna live with it there. And I said, I lived this as if my paw was moved and this was my life, and this is just like, I'm like, yeah, like I just let it happen. So it's I totally we said this before, I totally didn't question it. I was like, yeah, this is what the show's doing now, okay, cool. Stupid.
Yeah, no, it's not. I think I'm the kind of person where I always put it on myself first, where I'm like, there must be something that I just didn't pick up on. But then when you rewatch it, you're like, no, they mentioned her being an only child like a handful of times. Like, and yeah, I just loved listening to you guys like adjust, think about it for a sec, and then just fully accept it and let it go, which I think was part of what the show wanted. I think the show was like, okay, you can think this. In terms of the like, is she annoying? I'm an older sister to a younger brother, 2 years younger. And so I guess this tracks that, like, yes, I find her behavior annoying. I think it's interesting because she is a spell, so many fans kind of write in think like, oh, this is what the monk thinks a 14-year-old is, right? Like there's a lot of like, no, this is just, they're protecting, like the spell justifies some of the behavior versus maybe just they wanted to cast a younger actress and then loved obviously Sarah Michelle Michelle Trachtenberg.
You were there.
Yes, I was there. And they just wanted to cast her because I was thinking about like, when Buffy starts the show, she's like 15 maybe. And this is not how they wrote a 15-year-old when Buffy was starting. And so Buffy's gripes about like, this is not how I got treated is true. We saw it. She was like sent to die season 1 as a 15-year-old. But I also wonder, and this is not like a huge spoiler because I know that I don't remember where you guys are watching it, but Veronica Mars in a later.
So Jess hasn't seen season 4.
Okay,
so
this is. I don't think this is a giant spoiler. It's just a perspective thing. Okay. I don't think. But if this is, the one negative review I saw said that the female guest comes on, says she's not going to spoil, and then spoils. But in Veronica Mars, she's treated as such an adult in those early seasons. And there's a later season where she meets a high schooler who reminds her of herself. And you see what a kid that person feels like. Mm-hmm. So I wonder if part of the Dawn thing is a perspective thing where like it maybe Buffy and her friends were more kids than the show was explaining. It feels like the way they treated the 15-year-old season 1 versus Dawn is so different. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I totally agree. And I think that like
Wait, and you told me to read every bad review that I've ever gotten about myself on here.
Oh, I do it, so it's fine. And then I cry about it, and then Jessica has to console me every single time, so it's fine.
Okay.
So it's like people, if you want to write a bad review, that's fine, but you're making me cry literally. So just like be nice, please. So yeah. It's all the Dawn thing is so interesting, and I'm finding her less and less annoying because
for sure,
especially because the twist is so interesting, and the fact that like Buffy is like, I love when Buffy catches herself being like, well, you know, when my father left, like Dawn cried for a week, except she didn't because she wasn't there. Like, I love like her having these active memories about Dawn and then correcting herself, being like, that didn't happen, but I feel like it did. And I think like that's really, really interesting. And the fact that like Buffy now knows that Dawn is literally not her birth sister, but as we find out in this show, like blood family is not always your family. It's like become like it's the people that you choose to be your chosen family. And she's, you know, acting as if like she's still the sister that she grew up with. So I think that like for me, the twist really turned things around on Dawn for me because she's no longer just like this sister that's like just there doing shit. And also like I think that like she is getting it. Like the one thing that I like the least about younger siblings is that they're such snitches. And I always say this, but snitches get
Jess's face.
Oh my God. You are.
Oh
and I hate that. And I love the fact all I want, if you don't want to be an annoying younger sibling, then cover for your older sister or brother. Like, just do it. Like, just stop being a fucking dweebette and just do it. Like, don't tell on me. Don't tell on my shit. Don't go to mom. Like, just, and the fact that Dawn covered for Buffy and will continue to cover Buffy, we Gucci. We're good. That's all I want, you know?
I think Dawn will have a lot of growth, and also we'll learn more about the spell and the specifics around that. So I think Dawn overall is a positive to the show, especially in what she does for Buffy and her character. It's just in the simple thing of like, do I find these sibling behaviors acceptable or annoying? That like, yeah, some of them are annoying. But there is, I think it's a cool twist, and it all ties together in the themes of the season. And I think it works really well. I think, you know, I know season 4 was super fun. And again, I love how much you guys made me love season 4. But in terms of like an overall thematic arc, I do think this season and next season, my favorite season that I've been telling you is my favorite season since season 2, I think, when I came on, I think. But they do a good job. And I think this episode, like all the themes of the season, you can find in this episode when you go back. You'll be like, oh, wow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. What else can we talk about so that I can delay talking about Spike long enough to piss Jessica the fuck off? Because Jess looks so mad, and I know it's because she just wants to talk about Spike. I know, but like Hannah, like tell me about like your.
We can touch on Giles if you want.
Oh yeah,
I mean, I thought that was
Giles.
Sweet.
Yeah,
I love Spike, and I'm excited to talk about it. But I'm happy to touch on Giles. I really just love the moment with him and Buffy. Here's my Giles thing. I just love the moment with him and Buffy because I love that. I love that she's making fun of him, and he acknowledges how much love he has for her, and like it's like, no, these Watchers all developed like some sort of loving relationships with their Slayers.
Yeah, it's too hard. It's too hard.
And he's got a job, unlike Riley, even if he relates to Buffy.
Yeah, I love that he's a working man now, and I think like the set of the magic shop
box
is like really good. Yeah. You know, what else do I want to
Anya the
talk
capitalist.
About? Yeah, I love that Anya just loves money and just wants to do the money stuff. No Tara today, which was sad. You know, how'd you feel about the last episode?
No, absolutely not. We are not talking about the last episode. This
Oh
episode.
my god.
Moving on.
Okay,
We're gonna talk about Buffy and Spike.
I feel like I'm in a couples counseling session now, where
Always.
like I feel like
Always.
it's a couple like everything Sarah says. I feel like Jess, she's like, I watch your face. Look, in like 3 years, I'm in grad school. In like 3 years, I'll be a licensed counselor and we'll be able to like work through it all. But right now, I can't do that legally.
Jess just knows, like, when I get into troll mode, like, we're done. We're done. Truth be told, I loved the Spike stuff. I loved it. I was so
relieved.
I was so tickled the entire time. I loved every single part of it. I took very good notes on every single year flashback that we had. I would like to go through it like by each thing. I don't want to skip.
First, I want to start.
No,
with,
I want to do what I want to do. No, okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, I want you guys to listen to each other, not just hear each other.
Okay, thank you, Hannah.
I'm very unlicensed.
Thank you.
Yes.
So I want to start with Buffy even having to approach Spike because, as you guys were talking about with the conversation with Giles, he is the one who has killed 2 Slayers in the past. So he would know what it was about them that, you know, what their weaknesses were, why he was able to slay them. So we get Buffy approaching Spike. And I do think it's worth pointing out that Buffy doesn't come into the room like, hey, Spike, I have a proposition for you. I have like, you know, I have questions and I have money I can offer you. No, the first thing we see is her like physically fighting him, being like, I need information and you're going to give it to me. Like it is very intense immediately. And he very much, as Sarah likes it, he's in troll mode. Like that is what he wants. He is like, in my opinion, prolonging their interaction and their hangout. Like, he's like, well, let me tell you a story. Back when I was in preschool.
Wait, you're
like
saying he's elongating the time that his crush is pinning him up against the wall?
Exactly. He is enjoying every second of this, so he wants to prolong this. And I think it's really interesting because we're going to talk about all the flashbacks and they're kind of interspersed in between, you know, their hangout, which I think is at the Bronze. It looks like the Bronze. So the flashbacks kind of cut in, and he knows something has gone on. Like she's not just coming to him out of nowhere. Like he sees almost immediately that she's wounded, that he's like, oh, you're feeling like you might die any second. You want to know how you can fight this. And you know, I'm the one with the goods. I'm the one with the information. And I just love some of like his lines of, it's not about how I won. It's about how they lost. Like, I just think he has some really good insight. He says like each Slayer has a death wish. Vamps just need one good day. That's all they need is one good day.
Never lose your weapon. We already, and he shakes his head and vamps out and goes, we already have ours. See, he's a TA. That's all I wanted.
He's a good teacher. Yeah, I think like that was that, I think, and then watching the later flashbacks, that was the thing that the first Slayer that we saw during the Boxer Rebellion, she lost her stake, and that's how he bested her. And I was trying to watch pretty closely with the 1977 one, and for the most of it, she was just kicking and punching. I think I saw one flash where she did have a stake, but when she got pinned, she didn't have her weapon. So in both situations, the Slayers did not have their weapon on them.
So yeah, let's talk about these flashbacks. And like Sarah said, we can go chronologically where we start off in London of 1880. And I died at Spike being the dorkiest dork to ever dork. Like he is like not just dorky, but he is like a poet. And I here's the thing. As much as we would never be like, there's not in a million years would I've been like, Spike was a dork before he became a vampire. That's not something I would have said. However, I will say I do think it is in character for him to be this like overly romantic sap because we've seen him be that way with Drew Lulu. I feel like they had that sort of relationship. So I think it's so fun. And that like the wigs this episode. Oh my God. The wigs were giving
the wigs were amazing. I also love Buffy. Buffy as a show does a really good job of cuts that undercut. So I've always been bad. Quick cut to ridiculous Spike in a wig. I think it's interesting because in Lie to Me, like a long time ago, Buffy said that when a person becomes a vampire, like the demon takes over and there's not traces of the person. But I guess for some vampires, if they had a strong personality, those traces are much stronger because Spike does have, both things.
I kind of think like that's a cold take from Buffy because I'm thinking like even in the season premiere of season 3 with like the like frat boy surf dude, like vampire, like he had a personality. I think like it does carry over, but I don't know.
Remnants maybe, right? Like there's whiffs of like how they were, and for Spike it comes through in just this like overly romantic mentality. But the problem is, so he like you said earlier, Sarah, William the Bloody, because he's bloody awful at poetry.
That cracked me up.
It was really good. And he's writing this whole poem for this woman who, by the way, plays a really, really annoying doctor on Grey's Anatomy back in the day.
That's where I know her from. Thank you.
Yeah. And so he writes her this whole poem. He reads it to her. And listen, if you don't like someone and they write you poetry, like it's going to be awkward, right? Like it's going to be awkward. You're going to have to reject them, whatever. You can reject someone without traumatizing them for life.
No, Cecily
for eternity, literally for eternity.
Savage. She was evil. I loved what she said.
She said, "You are beneath me."
No, let me read the whole line. I took the note. Okay. Because he says, "Oh, please, you have to see me." And she says, "I do see you. That's the problem. You're nothing to me, William. You're beneath me."
Now, if someone wrote that as a podcast review, how long would you cry for?
A really long time.
It's so mean. It is so like unnecessarily harsh to a person who you know, but like he still is a human with feelings. Like she is so mean to him. It like obviously kills him. He leaves and is crying in an alleyway. Like it's so harsh.
He's crying.
So mean.
You didn't think it was funny? I thought it was so funny. Also, it's interesting because like I kind of thought that Cicely kind of looked like Drew-ish, like dark hair, light skin, big eyes. I thought that like I'm like, oh, my guy has a type. I thought it was so funny. And I think it, once again, is like my favorite Spike moments is when he's the underdog. So to see him being like in this position, it cracked me up. It really did. Because I was like, like I felt bad for him. But I was just like, what a dweeby ass dork. I'm like, oh my God, it was so good. And then, because then like Drew comes in, right? And she's like, oh, I see you. You have the wealth, it's in your heart and your mind. And then this fucking dork ass bitch, Spike, goes, look, my mommy is expecting me. I gots to go. My mom is waiting for me. And I was like, dork. Oh, so funny.
I love the parallels between Spike crying in the alleyway because he's just had his feelings hurt and being approached by a vampire who he then forms like a really strong bond with. And then like the end of the episode with Spike being the one who is like approaching a person who is crying. Like it's so good all in the same episode. And I also like, we're going to talk about the Angel episode, but like there's obviously like all the pieces of the puzzle are kind of like fitting together here where Hannah, when I watched this, I originally was like, oh, Drew Lulu immediately was like, this is my kindred spirit. Like, you know, this is just someone I connect with like on a deep, deep level because he's a poet and like I can recognize something in him that's also within me, right? Like she's a little kooky, she's a little eccentric, so is he.
Well, she's a seer, so she could have seen some of that.
Sure, that's true.
I think that she pretty much confirmed that when she was like kind of like going on and on about like his heart and his head.
But also, when we see in the Angel episode that literally it seems like the reason she approaches him is because he bumps into all three of them. He bumps into Angela
see that in the Buffy episode too.
Right, but like we see they're in the
Now,
middle of this conversation.
Angel has a type. I don't know about Spike, but Angel has a type.
And so they're all like, they're like making fun of Drew because she wants to have like basically what Angelus and Darla have, right? Like she's looking for that. And immediately Spike bumps into her and immediately she's like, there's the one, that's the one, I'm going right now. And like, it's just very interesting that like, I feel like I had a very different, like a different perspective on why Drew chose Spike up until I saw the Angel episode, and I was like, oh no, it was like literally like a happenstance sort of a thing.
That's sad.
Some people, Jess, the first person they swipe with on a dating app, they marry. Now, is it because it's the first person, or is it because they lucked out? It's fate. Yeah, I don't know. I know a girl who the first date she went on, she's married to him now.
That's wild.
That's pretty amazing.
They'd never been on a dating app date, and they swiped, they met, they got married.
Listen,
not on that
lucky.
first date.
Lucky.
Yeah. So maybe that's just, like good swiping. I don't know.
I think it's so. My last part about this flashback where I was like, what a fucking dweeb, because this is the last time we're really going to see him.
When he says ow.
Yes, when he was getting his neck bit and he's like, ow, 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 ow.
More people should be doing that on this show. Someone is beating your
neck. That felt so relatable.
It's so real.
That he's sort of seduced into the moment of like, actually, yes, I do. And you see glimpses of the vampire Spike as a human, like the sort of, yes, I want this. Yeah. And then the very realistic thing. Now, Sarah, I feel like you would bully most of the men I'm attracted to, because I thought that this was a very like endearing.
It is. I think it's funny. Like, but also I'm like, you dorky ass bitch. I don't know.
But it's interesting because like, I think about both of your complaints with Angel. And I think part of it is that Angel versus Angelus versus the guy he was, he very much is fully Angelus or fully Angel, whereas Spike is a vampire who we get to know where his human trace into this, it just feels like a clearer picture. Whereas like when Angel was human, he was just sort of a drunk. Like he wasn't able to be, he didn't have a moment to be anybody. And like Spike, so much of his stuff was already there. And we'll keep talking about it. But I just think like, it's not, cause I listen to your podcast every week, as we all know. The review mentioned that, the same review. They were like, she always mentions the past podcast. Yes, I'm a fan.
Stop it.
No, this reviewer should know. Actually, she won't.
They don't listen to us anymore.
They don't listen. No, but
unless you do, and then edit your review. And
I don't want to give the mean reviewer airtime. I don't want to talk about them.
You're right.
Deserve our time.
If we've mentioned it too much, you just cut some snap. No, but what I was saying is, no, you guys have mentioned a lot, like who we want to see Buffy with. And what are the relationships we root for? And like, I do think that it's not a like, yeah, go be with Spike, Buffy. No, he's a selfish person. He doesn't have a soul. He can only love selfishly at this point in time. The chip is a leash. It's not a soul, but he is a fantastic character. Oh, yeah. And I personally think I know, Sarah, don't make a face, but I think they have so much chemistry. Okay. And when they interact, and like his whole journey is just so fun and like kind of sexy. The chemistry, Sarah, before you make a face, I just think it's so fun. And I love this part of the show. And there's a lot coming to talk about, but nothing I'm going to talk about here. But I just like, this is one of my favorite episodes of the series. And I think that, James Marsters, like, it's such, to a fault, a charming portrayal. Like, he's so dynamic, like he has so much spark that you almost like the character more than you should, because he's an asshole and he's a murderer and he's all these things, but it's so crackling. And I think for those of us who, didn't find her and Riley to have this, it's kind of exciting.
Yeah. Let me be clear. If I'm not, this episode made big moves for me to enjoy Spike as a character again.
Okay,
And
cool.
the fact that he's a dork ass loser endears me to him 10 times more. Like, I like the fact that this is his backstory. So if I was not being clear, yes, I'm making fun of him because he is such a dweeb, such a wimp. I'd like that about him, and that makes me like the character more. So
I was so relieved when you texted that you love the episode.
Yeah.
Because I think that, like, if I were coming on and you had texted, ugh, this episode, I would have been like, I don't know that I want to come on with something I love so much.
I have no
like
complaints.
this episode. Yeah.
I have no complaints. Okay.
Jessica, so let's talk about let's talk about the
today. Hannah, she's going to kill us.
Jess, I feel like you do want to kill us today.
Isn't she like in a stank ass mood? Don't
no,
kill
you're
us.
so hey.
You know who's in a stank ass mood?
Yeah.
Angelus. That's who's in
there
a
we
stank
go.
ass
Good
mood.
job.
In
Great
Yorkshire.
transition. Oh wait, I thought you guys would love this. I thought you both of you who hate Angel so much would love what a sourpuss he is portrayed through the eyes of
He
of
is
Spike.
so wet blankety. He is the worst vampire. He is the worst because, and now I don't know, listeners can write in, Hannah, if you know the answer, be sure to let me know. I don't remember what year it was when Angelus got his soul back and became Angel. I know it is sometime between now and the Boxer Rebellion of 1900.
I guess I don't know the exact year. I was going to say chronologically, and what I think is so cool about the Angel thing is we think he doesn't have a soul, but yeah, by the time we see them in Boxer, he definitely does, and he's in a mood about it.
Right. So here, I don't know if he is still Angelus or Angel, but
he's Angel by the time of the Boxer Rebellion.
No. I'm in Yorkshire though. This is for Yorkshire for 1880. We're in Yorkshire in 1880. Spike wants to fuck shit up. Spike wants to live his best bloody life, go killing, be an agent of chaos. And Angel is a little sad sack about it and says, "You're forcing me and my girlfriends to be underground and I'm mad about it." When? And Spike says, "I want to fuck shit up and have fun. My name isn't William the Bloody anymore. My name is Spike because I drive railroad spikes through people's brains." So yeah. And this is when Spike finds out about the Slayers even existing. And he is all about this. He is like, "Listen, the problem with you, Angel, is that you're boring. The only reason you kill people is to live. The only reason you drink blood is so that you can continue to exist."
Which is not how he always was. We see in the Angel episode. So we'll discuss the timeline here. But yeah.
Yeah, maybe he's already Angel at this point.
I'm going to look up the year.
But Spike is different about it. Spike is the kind of villain I can get behind. I've always said this. I love a villain who loves being evil. I love a villain who
loves the world. He remember when Angelus wanted to destroy the world and Spike was like, no, I like this world. Like this world. This is a fun world for me.
Yeah.
And I think that was the seed. That was the first episode when him and Buffy had to work together to stop Angelus. Where you're like, oh, this is a fun character. What did?
And so he sees art in all of this, right? Like where Angel sees, I have to live. This is how I live, is by sucking the blood of humans or whoever. Spike says, this is my art form. This is how I express myself. He has now thrown away poetry and is putting all of his energy into killing, the art of killing. And he finds out Slayers exist. And he is thrilled about this.
He's got a crush.
So excited.
Always been. I think that's what's kind of fun about it is that clearly we'll talk about his crush on Buffy, but every bit of the Slayer murders for him was sexual. I mean, even the way he says to the first girl, "Is this good for you?" It's all sexual. From the jump when we met Spike in School Hard, when he came to kill Buffy, he had his big stick, his big metaphor, and he was it's always been sexual for him. So I think the fact that it's his crush,
it's a challenge for him and he enjoys it. He revels in it, and Angel doesn't. And it is one of the reasons why I find Angel to be so boring is that he just doesn't ever have fun with it. And Sarah, I loved when Darla and Drew Lulu are like, ooh, the boys are fighting.
Yeah, our boys, they're fighting. Yeah. Even
Drew Lulu said something
Darla.
about like the man with the hat like wanted something. I don't know what the hell she says. She is on something. Who knows?
I think like Darla was like drinking Angel's like boring juice because like she was like being like mom in like this scene and the next a little bit. Like, you know, Drew was like loving her life, having a great time. Or maybe Darla was like looking at Spike and be like, oh, like
this is too
like
far.
where's no. Like why is my man not killing Slayers? Like why is my man like not reveling in this? Like
right.
So like maybe like she was starting to get like the ick or was jealous, but I don't know.
1898.
1898. So this
So-
is so at this point
This
in
is
time,
Angelus.
Because
Yeah,
Darla
this is
kidnapped their favorite daughter of the people as a birthday present
The Romanon, I don't know.
In Romania to avenge her death. They cursed him with a soul in 1898.
So this at this point he is still Angelus.
Yeah,
He has
but-
not yet
Okay.
been made angel.
The Boxer Rebellion in China is 1899, so it's a year later.
Yeah. And
Right,
we
so
learned
then-
that when he told Buffy, I haven't killed anybody since I got my soul, that he was sort of fudging the truth to like get with the girl.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Because he's
because,
definitely
yeah.
killed people.
Yeah, because then after that whole kerfuffle with the crew, we're in China during the Boxer Rebellion, and so we know now that it is Angel, not Angelus, and Spike is in a one-on-one with the Chinese vampire slayer, and like again, like you said, Hannah, it is the moves are interesting because she is much more like less spontaneous. I feel like Buffy feels more spontaneous in her fighting than
Well,
this
she's more
person
like
does.
Kendra, remember? Like more like
Yes,
well-trained.
militant almost.
Militant.
Yeah. And he ends up killing her. He's like having a great time. Drew Lulu comes in and she is just like immediately drops panties, ready to go. Like she is like, this is great. Great job. I love you so much. You're incredible. And I love this whole pairing of Buffy and Angel, the shows, because we know now that Angelus, it doesn't matter. I don't care. I'll never say it right. He was Angel at this point. So when Spike goes out and brags about killing a Slayer, it's not this like, it's not that he is jealous that Spike did it, right? It's because he's like, oh shit, like great. Now, we're never going to be eradicated, unfortunately.
Are you saying that he was not Angelus?
You
wow.
think he wanted the Slayer to kill him? Oh, I'm jealous.
Yeah, that was great.
So I don't think he wanted to be like eradicated, but I think like now he's feeling like human life is important, and the Slayer is a major good guy.
Well, yeah, but I think in my opinion, part of that is he has like this self-loathing. And I think like hearing that the one person who can possibly take him out has been taken out herself, I do feel like there's a part of him that is like, shit, now I'm like even more trapped almost.
Angel was portrayed in this episode, I feel like how you guys see him more than how like other viewers
boring
see him,
sad sack.
But like it's just like almost cartoonish, especially since Spike is just having so much fun. And like I think the combination of sex and violence for Spike is the thesis statements are very present. And again, it's not that anyone's like, I want my friend to go date the guy who thinks that beating each other up is foreplay, but it
does something.
We know that it does something for Buffy too. Like we've seen that. Yeah. So it's not it's not
remember
just Spike,
when Faith was like, don't you get a little like horny when you slay?
Yeah, that was a very defining moment for me, actually. I do remember that.
And Buffy said she sometimes craved a non-fat Greek yogurt after she slayed.
I also heard that. Yeah.
I just think Spike and this arc that we're journeying on is fun, and also the show doesn't treat it like it's all good. Do you know what I mean? Like,
we know it's not healthy. Sure. Yeah.
So a couple of things. Hold on.
Yeah.
So Angel says that he's never killed a Slayer before.
No.
And that Spike is like, okay, well, you get dibs at the next one. If this is the point where he's already gotten his soul, does that mean that Angel never killed a Slayer ever?
I don't think so.
What
Yeah,
a
'cause
loser!
it's supposed to be
What
really
a dork-ass
rare.
bitch! You can't even kill a Slayer. You can't even do that. What a
And we
useless
know
sack of
Drusilla, between Drusilla and Spike, they kill 3 Slayers. Like
Power couple.
like that we know of. Yeah.
shit. Okay,
Yeah.
that's interesting. I
Power
don't think I
couple.
remember that I knew that.
Kendra. Drusilla
Yes.
kills Kendra.
Okay, and then another important observation is how Spike's wig in this particular scene, aside from like the little ponytail in the back, very Dawson adjacent.
I hated the ponytail so much. I can't describe to you. The moment that I saw that there was a ponytail in the back, I was like, oh no, not the tiny pony.
He's like a teenager, though. You have to understand.
Hated it.
Teenager.
Teenager.
Dawson in the front,
Dawson.
party in the back.
Whiny in the front, party in the back.
I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
Angel says the rebellion is starting to bore him. Probably he's like, you know what? Like,
He was
Well,
trying
'cause he
to
doesn't want
save
to kill
the
anyone.
family.
Yeah, I don't want to kill the
Or-
baby.
It's like he's in a
Scared with the
marriage and
baby.
they're him and Darla are like in this marriage.
Yeah.
And
They're
now
going through
their
some troubles.
priorities
Yeah.
have changed.
It's the
Yes.
7-year
You know?
itch or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the 7-year itch is wicked.
7,000th century-ish.
Most
Yeah.
importantly, wait, Wicked. Talk about Wicked. Drew. Oh, Spike, look at the wicked mess you made. That was a good line.
Yeah.
The slow motion walk, very badass.
I love the jump, the little hop. I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah,
It's
and
the first episode. Oh God, Darla. It's the first episode directed by a popular writer on Buffy, and I believe it was like his directorial debut, and they used this shot across both, but the composers didn't link up between the two shows because they wanted to feel like a different perspective.
Yeah, that's
So
interesting.
they changed the music.
Yeah, well, the
okay.
Buffy slow motion walk was very badass. Like
I
that a
loved
lot.
it.
Spike says it's the best night of his life. And then there's
Tim
one
Meunier. Yeah, sorry.
in what?
Tim Meunier is the guy who directed this, and he becomes a big. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Tim Meunier.
There will be a test later.
Yeah, I'll try to remember it. And then the one thing that I thought, like when we pull out of the flashback, that I thought was interesting was that well, Spike was basically like, yeah, like she like lost her weapon, blah blah blah. But he said to Buffy, "You're getting so good, we're starting to think you're immortal," which made me think, they love to drop Easter eggs just like Taylor Swift. Is Buffy immortal? Is that going to be a thing that happens? I'm just saying that might be an Easter egg. I don't know.
It could be. I mean, it could be. Yeah.
I mean, she already died once in a very, very shallow puddle.
So
In
embarrassing.
a very shallow puddle, she died.
So
And
embarrassing.
she came back. So I just thought that was an interesting line that I felt like was an interesting call out that I wanted to say. Okay.
Mhm.
That's it.
So
anything else from that?
No, I think that's an interesting thing to note. Like I think that like Buffy getting stronger and stronger, and Buffy kind of like dodging the sort of young death of Slayers is like an important theme. I mean, she's trying to learn more about the Slayer lore, so that basically, like she says, so that her expiration date, she can be like what did she say? Oh no, a cookie? No, a Cheeto? A Dorito. She said she wants a long shelf life, like a
yeah. But yeah, and Spike says the same thing in terms of you have a death wish, but the reason you're still around is because you have ties to the world. And this is like a very common theme that we've seen where we had like, as compared to other Slayers, Buffy has a support system that they didn't have, that we also don't see in any of these flashbacks, especially not the one in 1977 in New York, where, and I love the way these scenes cut back and forth between Spike fighting the Slayer on the subway and him like dancing, quote unquote, with Buffy, and them kind of fighting back and forth. And he's trying to like she just wants the information. Like she's had it, right? Like she is like had her limit of Spike. Like she just wants to know.
Has she? But like, has she? She's like, she entered his crypt and immediately pinned him against the wall.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm just saying she's not innocent.
Mhm.
No, I think it's both. I think she also enjoys the combative nature of their relationship, but I do think at a certain point she's like, all right, enough floor play. Like, let's just fuck. Like, I do think she's just like, just give me the information I came here for.
Like, no, she's a healthy individual. She's not like a depressed loner like Spike is, you know?
Yeah. And he says like the reason that they all end up, that I was able to kill them, the reason that they end up dead is because eventually they get tired and they play so much with death that they just want to see what it's like, that like they cheat death so often, eventually they just want to know like what's going to happen after. And so they like either whether or not they have an off day or they're just at that point in their slaying journey.
Like, they like in a way like they
that Slayers have a death wish, basically.
Yeah, they like you know, they take their foot off the gas a little bit and let it happen because
that's
like,
the weakness. Yeah. And
like
that's
almost
when
choose to die. Like almost like
exactly.
They give up.
I thought so too.
And whether it's giving up or just a curiosity or whatever it is, that's the pattern that Spike is
well, it's
seeing.
like so exhausting, right? Like we hear from Buffy
sure
all
it's
the
exhausting.
time that it's just like never ending, the responsibility. It's so much. I feel like we're just like missing just like the most important thing, and that is like Spike's like look.
The Billy Idol look,
the Billy Idol, the costume, the hair, like it was so good. And
it's so fun, isn't it?
It's so cool. And the Slayer that he was fighting was like very much like foxy 70s. Disco 70s. It was just like so good. And like I like how he was talking about like, oh well, the last Slayer that I killed was like very regimented. This Slayer was more like you. She was cunning and resourceful and hot.
He had a crush on her.
And like I thought that
wore her clothes after.
Oh my god, the fact that he stole the jacket off of her back and that was the jacket that he was wearing. Once again, it's like very rock and roll. I thought it was really cool. But I just like the look was so good. I was like, ooh, I love it. And I first saw him, I was like, ooh, like 80s vibes. This is like 77. So it's like that cool transition. Loved the costume in here. And I agree with you, Jess. Like I think like the switching back and forth, the editing was really cool because the choreography, the fighting choreography was I think the same. So I know that we got a new fighting choreographer and I think that it really shows that because it looks so good. So I thought that it was really cool.
No, I think so much of what Spike is saying to her about Slayers, like she said about Slayers as well, which is like, no matter what she does, the things keep coming. Like there is that terrible episode where Joyce goes crazy and like starts the moms group where Joyce asks the question, are things actually getting better? And it's a bad episode.
The chocolate bar episode. Yeah.
The Hansel and Gretel thing.
Yeah, it was the chocolate bar. Where they were like selling chocolate bars. Yeah.
But I think that is a thing. Is like, are things actually getting better, or is this like a sort of hellish like job where you're constantly facing things until you want to die? Like it's a dark underbelly.
There's no retirement. There's no pension. Like it's continuous, and then you die, and then that's it. And of course, it's going to be exhausting, and it's going to be especially exhausting if you're going at it alone, which the majority of the Slayers have, except for Buffy. She is the outlier in that way, and Spike says as much. And he like. This entire time, as we're cutting back and forth between the 70s and the present day, he is poking at her. He is poking. He is trying to get a rise out of her. He's trying to get a reaction. He wants that
to fight
combustion fight. Yeah, he wants that because we've seen when he was having fantasies about being with Buffy while he was literally inside of Harmony. Like we see they were fighting. Like they weren't fucking, they were fighting. And that's what he wants, right? He says like, oh, did I scare you? Do something about it. Hit me. You know, you want to. Like he's poking at her. And it's again, it's like this very much like this passion, this heat. And he then leans in and because this is the moment, right? He leans in, she backs away and is like, what are you doing?
Mhm.
He grabs her and he says, come on, I can feel it, Slayer. You know you want to dance. And this is so interesting because she then says, say it's true, say I do want to. And she shoves him to the ground. And she says, it wouldn't be with you, Spike. It would never be with you. And she tosses the cash at him like he's some like cheap stripper. And she says, you're beneath me. Again, very much like, again, what the mean doctor said to him in
The mean
London.
Grey's Anatomy
Mean
doctor.
Grey's Anatomy doctor said to him.
So sweet.
So he's very much triggered. But
I
I
love
thought this was
yeah.
so interesting that she says, say it's true, say I do want to. Like her saying, say I do like this like combative sort of a relationship, say I do like this sort of a vibe, it wouldn't be with you.
I don't think that this is what I thought that that's what it was at first. Sorry, Hannah. But I think I kind of think it means two things. It could mean that because like that's what my initial thing was. But also he said that he wants to be the one that does it when like she dies. And I think she was responding to that. Say it's true. Say I do want you. Die. It wouldn't be you. You wouldn't be the one that killed me. It would never be you. You're beneath me. You're not as good as me. I like something bigger is going to get me. And I think it was a dual meaning. And like hearing you're beneath me triggered that because Cicely said it's the same words. And I just think it's a double meaning here because I think that like, yeah, I think like she was also saying like, if I want to die, it's not going to be at your hands. Like you killing me is beneath me. I am better than you.
I think it, like you said, double meaning. I think it can be both because I think for Spike, sex and death, like there's something about the moment when he kills both Slayers that is like kind of like his version of an orgasm. I mean, it literally you get off of that. So like I think it can be both, and I think the lines can be blurred. And what I definitely think is that when I watched this the first time and was into this, I was not the healthiest individual, maybe because I don't know who watches this and it's like, yeah,
you're like, this is the best couple ever. Let me see it happen.
I ship it. Yeah, I think I'm glad, Sarah, that you can appreciate what people are seeing as a fun storyline. And because the other thing about it is that because like I said, Spike doesn't have a soul. So all his love is selfish, right? Like even though he loved Drusilla, even though he, whatever, wants harmony to some degree, it's all selfish love because the soul is the thing that makes it like selfless. Angel left Buffy because he realized that was the selfless thing to do. He has a soul. But I do think that like a selfish, bad, evil person falling in love with like this person who is good and selfless, like those are qualities of Buffy's. And then it's like, how do I become good enough for this person is an interesting arc. Even if it's selfishly motivated. It's like, I just like this person. Yeah.
I think that sometimes people walk into doing the right thing because of selfish reasons. Like I think that it's really a hard task to do something that is like good or pure with like 100% like based off of others. Like I think that it makes sense. Like I think that he's gonna truly like backdoor himself to be good somehow. Like I don't know, like he doesn't mean to, but I think it's really interesting. All of it.
Yeah. When she says you're beneath me, immediately he is triggered. And like bearing in mind that all happened over 100 years ago to him. But that those words have stuck in his head for that long because it flips a switch in him. He storms off. He goes back to the crypt and he is like, I'm going to kill her. That's it. I'm going to kill her. I'm going to show her. Harmony tries to stop him. And he basically says, listen, I'll have a headache for a little bit, but she'll be dead. So it won't matter. Like, yes, it'll hurt briefly, but then she'll die. So who cares? And then we get like the cut to, and I love, this is one of my favorite flashbacks of the episode because we get to finally find out what the hell happened between
I
Spike
thought
and
y'all
Drew
would
Lulu.
love this.
And
Yeah.
it was so good. We're in South
we've been
America.
waiting for this for like 3 seasons. It was huge. It was I gasped, and Adam was like, "What's wrong with you?" And I said,
It's
"We've
so
been
good.
literally waiting for this forever." And
Yep.
he hasn't seen seasons 1.5. Like
No, he didn't see 1 or 2.
he's or 3. I don't know. He
It
hasn't
doesn't
seen-
matter.
Yeah.
We're in South America in 1998, and Drew and Spike are having an argument because she says that she can't look at Spike the same way ever since he allied himself with Buffy. She says, "You're covered with her. I look at you and all I see is the Slayer." And he is trying to deny this, but basically Drew can sense that there's more in there, that there is a reason that he allied himself. Like basically Spike has feelings for Buffy. He's not willing to admit at this point, and Drew doesn't like it because what she was attracted to was the chaotic person that Spike was, right? The like not holding back killer. That was who she was attracted to. And he is no longer that person. And in between them is the chaos demon who's covered in ooze with these huge antlers, and it's just it was
so
best.
funny.
It was incredible.
Yeah,
because
so
we've
funny.
heard of this guy because
have.
in when Spike would like kidnapped Willow in like season 2 or 3, he was 3. He was like, it was 3. He was like, and she left me for this, and there it is, the antler guy.
He's like, I didn't know you were taken. I'm sorry.
He was all slime and antlers.
He reminds me of one of my favorite demons to come, who it's not a big spoiler, but yes, one of my favorite. It's not this guy, but there's a demon that will appear. One of my favorites. Small guy, small secondary, thirdary character, and I love this energy.
Yeah. This was the prophecy of the ooze demon. We did get ooze. He wasn't an ooze demon, but there was ooze present, and I was so pleased.
You're not counting that, ma'am.
I'm not like, no, he's not an ooze demon, but there was ooze present, which made me so happy. And I just love him being like, okay, you guys obviously like have a thing like happening.
Yeah,
like,
that was,
I gotta.
I'm
gonna see myself out.
But that's the thing is like, this is clearly an episode that it's that quickness. It's that, that punchiness of a Whedon episode.
Yeah, it was really good.
This is so interesting because I remember when we saw like when Spike and Buffy had to like align up together to turn Angelus back into Angel, and it was like a whole thing. And then again, Spike and Drew Lulu disappear. Drew Lulu never comes back, and it's like now we know it goes all the way back that far. That Drew, again, Sarah, she's a seer, right? Like she not only I think could sense something going on within Spike, but then I assume that because of her special abilities, it was like amplified almost for her, that she is just like, there is something there and you're fighting it, but it is there. And it's now all coming to a head seasons later when he can't help himself. It feels, it's so funny when you think about the fact that Spike is an old vampire, right? Like he is old. Like
he's kind of young,
but he's old in terms of like human years, right? And like, this is how you would act if you were like 12 and had a crush on someone, where you like can't help but show up where they are all the time. You just want to know what they're up to. Like, even if they're giving you negative attention, at least they're giving you attention. Like, it is so childish, and it's just so funny that is how he, like, it's like he's mad at himself that he feels this way about Buffy, so he's like gonna punch her and fight with her just to be like, see, I don't like her, I'm hurting her, you see. I love it.
I loved the flashbacks throughout. Like every bit of it. I really thought it was like really fun,
cinematic too.
It's so cinematic.
Yes, the way they wove them in and out was really good.
I even like the current scenes as well with Spike and Buffy. I felt like those were really interesting, and like
he loves the menu at the Bronze. I think that's such a fun detail.
I want some buff chick wings.
Yeah, did he get his chicken wings? Because
did he get his blooming onion?
Yeah, like I
Like,
just
what all
don't
this?
think that he got the food that he was promised, which really sucks.
I know.
Not
This is
good.
the thing. He enjoys the world. Like, he
Yeah.
wants to. He
Wants a
likes
spicy
tasting
wing.
beer. He doesn't need beer. He doesn't need food to eat
No,
for
but he just
sustenance.
likes
He
living.
just likes it.
Yeah, he just wants
Yeah.
it.
That's a
And,
fun character.
So Buffy goes home. Joyce
Yeah.
is packing. She says she has to go to the hospital for observation. She's getting a CAT scan. And she says it's only one night. Even if there is something, it's still very early. So I'm going to be fine. All bad news. All very bad news.
She's
for
a dead.
observation at the hospital. Not good. All
Yeah.
bad. Buffy puts on a brave face in front of her mom, but then immediately goes outside and is crying on
Okay.
her back deck.
Yeah. She's dead. I mean, like, she's dead. She's so dead. And this is the first time, I don't know if it's the first time, but this scene where Buffy was outside crying and then Spike wound up consoling her might be the very first time I cried at Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I cried in this scene. I shed tears.
Wow.
And I think that it has to do with the fact that Buffy knows that her mom's not well. Like, Buffy knows that, like, the shit is going down and it's not looking good. And we don't have, like, a diagnosis. We don't know what to do. But, like, I can relate to the fact that, like, I know what it feels like to see a parent and know that they're dying and not having anything to do about that. And having Spike come and console her, it made me cry. I cried. And I don't know if it's the first time that I cried at Buffy, but I think it's the first time that I will remember going forward that it was a time that I cried at Buffy.
Yeah. It's really interesting because he comes out of the bushes, like, he has a gun. He's aiming it at her. She looks up and she doesn't even, like, flinch. Like, he literally has a gun on her and she just goes, "What do you want now?" Right? Like, the world has beaten her down so much. She is so tired that she doesn't even have, like, any sort of, she's not saying put the gun down. She's not trying to fight him. Like, she is exhausted. And I think Spike just, like, I don't know. I feel like it almost brings him back to, like, when he was crying, right? And, like, Drew approached him. Like, I just feel like there's, like, this connection point there where he just sees her upset. And instead of doing anything else, he says, "What's wrong?" She says she doesn't want to talk about it. He lowers the gun and he asks her, "Is there something I can do?" What? Like,
I
what?
remember earlier in the episode where he's like, every Slayer has this moment. And I think if Slayer is I think it's a metaphor for adulthood, right? So it's like every adult has a moment where they, for a moment, are like, what if I'm just like, how can I do this? And he's like, the second you feel that, I'll be there. That's what he says earlier in the episode, to
And he
kill you,
is.
essentially. But instead of he is there for that moment. And it's like, I think when you think of Slayerhood as adulthood, suddenly the episode is like kind of an emotional one. And I
just love that she doesn't respond. She kind of, like, looks to the side, not really say, like, because what is there to say, right? Like, there's nothing he can do. There's nothing anyone can do. She's tried magic, right? Like, she tried to see if it was, like, a spell or if it was something that magic could fix, but it doesn't seem like it is. And I loved him just, like, sitting next to her and, like, putting a hand on her back and she lets him do it, right? She doesn't shrug him off. She doesn't, like, say anything. It does feel like this is the reality of some situations where sometimes there just isn't an answer. There isn't anything anyone can say or do. And it is just a matter of, like, physically just being there for someone, or even just saying, "I am here if you need me." And he's there. And it's just so interesting that Spike is this person for Buffy in this moment, right? That as many times as they've been at odds and they have argued and they have fought, he is the person that is there now. And he's also the person that imparted that wisdom on her earlier of, you're going to have an off moment And it's all about that off moment. It's all about that time that you're almost welcoming death. And the fact that he's going to be there. It's so interesting. I loved this. I wanted it to continue, right? There have been times where I've wanted to hit play on like the next episode before we've recorded. Obviously I never do. I always record and then go back and watch the next episode. But like, this was one of those moments where I was like, oh, I really just don't want this episode to end. Like, I just want to like continue this, right? Like, I just want to see where this goes from here. Yeah. And again, credit to Sarah Michelle Gellar, because the cry acting is literally always on point.
So good.
I'm trying to think of how to describe it. She always has this look on her face of like, I don't want to cry, but I am going to cry, but I'm going to hold the tears in. Like, she's so good at that. It's so real. Like, it's like something with her mouth and her eyes and there's her whole freaking face. I don't know. It's incredible. It's acting.
No, it's she's fantastic. And yeah, where do we go from here? You know? And yeah. I think that I don't know exactly what to say, Sarah, but I think it is beautiful that like, I don't know, that the show, like that a show that like we spent a lot of time about vampires in the Boxer Rebellion, and it's big and cinematic and vampire-y, but ultimately like it's about the characters and it's about adulthood and it's about dealing with things you deal with in adulthood. And, you know, like even the earlier seasons, you know, when she sleeps with Angel and he becomes evil was a very thinly veiled metaphor for, you know, sleeping with someone and then they're a different person now. And, you know, and so I think that season 5 and 6, as she accepts her slayerness, she accepts adulthood. And so the seasons do get a bit, heavier is not the right word because it's still Buffy. It's still fun and it's still, but it does, you know, we're further and further away from high school, right? And so we get more into stuff like this. And obviously there's like a nostalgia around the high school seasons and I get why they're really fun. But yeah, I love Buffy when it's this good. And and just like hold your hats for season 6 because I think like, yeah, it addresses a lot. And this to me is like a taste of more season 6. I don't know if people listening will agree or disagree with that, but there's a season 6-ness to this episode. That I think it's like a lot of the stuff I love about season 6 it like exists in this episode. And part of that is the Spike of it all, like Spike at his most interesting. But I appreciate you sharing, Sarah, your experience watching the episode.
Yeah, I mean, it got me. It got me, which is, you know, not that hard to make me cry, but yeah. So I thought this was a great episode through and through. I thought that there was moments where I was laughing, and there was moments that I thought that were like really cool and interesting and heartfelt. And I think like that's obviously like the best of Buffy, right? Like Jess and I always said, like the reason why we're interested is like, yeah, we're like not really big supernatural or like sci-fi people. We joke that we specialize in teen drama, but in actuality, it's like the best moments of like Dawson or like Boy Meets World were always like the big heartfelt moments. Like that was the thing that surprised me the most about Dawson's Creek was how much heart a stupid ass show like Dawson's Creek had. So really, I'm really excited to get into some of the more emotionally deep stuff because I think like that's where I'll like thrive in watching, but also and experiencing, but also talking about. So yeah, all really good things, you know. A really good show. And then of course we watched Angel as well, which it still isn't the same in sense of like, oh man, like, you know, Buffy really has a lot of heart. And like, you know, Angel, I was cackling through some of the moments, just like making fun of this shit. And but the best parts of the Angel episodes continue to be the flashbacks.
Yeah, we get the creation of Darla as a vampire, which is of course at the hands of Daddy Vamps. We bow to his greatness.
I thought y'all would be so excited when Daddy Vamps came back.
I screamed.
No,
I lost my damn mind when I saw Daddy Vamps on. Look at him. Look at his Kool-Aid mouth. We love him.
I have to say though, and maybe this lowers my credentials, and I'll accept that. I don't really watch Angel, and so I don't think I've ever like watched this episode fully, and I feel like a fool for love, because I feel like it's my like a favorite movie. There's like scenes I didn't watch.
It's almost like deleted scenes of Buffy.
Yeah, it was so fun. I so enjoyed. Like, I mean, I'm not really watching it, and I've seen analysis of it, and so I know the gist of like this Lindsay character or whatever, but like, you know, I think overall the trajectory of Angel, I'm weary, and when you guys are more through it, I can talk about it in more detail, but there are things about the show that I'm weary of, and that's why I've been hesitant to like fully dive in, but this was so fun.
Yeah.
We just saw this scene, but now we're seeing it from a different angle. I love that.
That's why I really like
fun
the episode.
Storytelling.
And on top of that, I've always loved Darla. And so getting to see the trajectory in Darla's history of how she was created, right? Like we find out that she was dying from syphilis. She was a sex worker, and before Daddy Vamps comes in and saves her. And then as she's like with Daddy Vamps, still working with Daddy Vamps, she creates Angelus. He does not respect his elders. Does not respect Daddy Vamps in the worst way possible.
This was so offensive to me. Like, never hated Angel more. How rude he was to Daddy Vamps, who just wants his children to follow in his ways of wisdom and grace.
He's so giving. Yeah,
he's so giving.
He's so giving, and Angel
given Angel the world if Angel just took it.
And Angel's like, "Oh, you're wrinkly, gross, rude." Simply rude. So rude.
He is horrid. He is disgusting. He is like I want to go off and do things my way and on my own, and steals Darla from her.
Yeah, so Darla leaves with him.
He does seem more fun. He does seem more fun in this scene.
He's disgusting, Hannah.
He's like, we're gonna go have fun, and then he ends up sort of being like scared, like Daddy Vamps was. Also, it reminded me of when Spike took the anointed child and like burned him in the bird cage. I think it's like the writers being like, the Order of Aurelius, all these things were kind of maybe didn't hit like we wanted them to. So we're gonna have all our characters sort of shit on that.
Yeah. So Angel is like, takes Darla away, right? Like they go off together, and Daddy Vamps is like, she'll come back to me, which she does.
She does.
But we also find out, because like you said, Sarah, this is flashback heavy, but also we're dealing with like Lindsay is kind of like falling for Darla. Darla is really struggling because after last episode, when Angel is like, oh, well, you're fucked now because you have a soul. So you're going to remember all the shit you did, and you're going to feel like fucking awful. And we find out that like Darla is really having like this identity crisis because of basically very similar to what Angel went through when he got a soul. And we also find out Darla wasn't even her name. That is a name Daddy Vamps gave her. She doesn't even know her real name, which again is such a mind fuck when it comes to like your identity. Like your name is like your identifier. That is who you are.
What happens if Daddy Vamps was like, ooh, your name is Gertrude, and that's not a hot name, and you're a hot. You're hot.
Your name is Darla.
Yeah, what if her name was like Syphilis Sally or something?
He's like,
he's like Mary Syphilis Sally, you know.
Yeah, I'm just saying that it sounds bad, but like he was probably doing her a favor because he's so great and amazing.
Yeah.
I love your love for Daddy Vamps, and when I saw him, I was like, they're gonna be so happy. This is gonna be such a happy podcast. Like,
I love
Darla, Drusilla, Daddy Vamps, like all of all
the greatest hits
characters, all the greatest hits.
Yeah, they were all there, and like all the wigs too, right? So like we're we get to see the reversal, the Angel perspective of the scene in London, where again they're like, Drew is kind of sad because she's like, I want what you have, like I want someone to be in love with, and in comes Spike, crashes into her, and then they end up getting together, and then we get to see the whole like Darla side of tracking down who cursed or gave Angel a soul. And
this is my favorite, one of my favorite parts, where she's like, if you tell me how to reverse this, your family will live. And then Spike like hops out of the wagon, having already killed them, just showing that he's not a brain guy. He's a feeling.
He's a heart guy. He feels.
He's a heart man.
His Myers-Briggs is an F and not a T.
There you go.
Me too. Me too.
But no, I just think this scene is like, it's so fun. I can't believe I'm such a dummy for never having seen this in full. It was such a treat to get to watch this Angel episode. It made me want to try Angel, but then like, I'm like, I don't know if this is going to actually play out. Maybe I'll just, every time I come on the podcast, I'll just watch
the crossover episodes.
Well, yeah, like maybe you need to follow the episodes that I'm following, because I'm taking a break except for what Michael tells me to do.
I mean, I love listening to you guys recap it, because especially Sarah, when you were still watching it, you would come in and I would be like, okay, I've never seen it, so like I don't know what to expect, and I would still not have any clue what it was about after you explained it. I loved it. Exactly. You'd be like, there's some guy and like, oh my God, he's so annoying. And then this other dude, he like really wants like a gem. And then like it was, and I'm like, I can't follow the show.
Most episodes aren't like this, is the thing. Yeah, most of them aren't like this. But this one was like so integrated with the Buffy stuff that it really worked out, because we basically get to see Darla going through what we assume Angel went through when he got a soul in the present day. And in the flashbacks, we get to see Angel and Darla's history together of like, now Angel has a soul and she's like disgusted by him. She's like, you're not the Angelus I once knew. And he's trying to hide it from her by like not going after this family that has a baby. She takes the baby and is like, eat the baby, Angel, eat the baby.
A classic relationship test. Yeah. Where you say, if you love me, you'll eat this baby.
This was one of my favorite scenes, because Darla's acting, she was like, the Joss Whedon was like, okay, I need you to like act this at like a 9, and she's like, I will act this at a 13, no problem.
Eat the fucking baby.
This scene and the other scene with Lindsay cracked me the fuck up. She's like, where have you been? And he's like, Angel's like, feeding, and she's like, on vermin, and he goes,
no, rat eater.
And I told you guys that I've worked out with David Boreanaz, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All I wanted to do was ask him about these shows. But instead I had to talk to him about some army show he was in instead.
No, not an army show.
So I would have just asked him about this.
Eat the baby. What did you think when she told you to eat the baby?
Yeah. Also the fact that she's like, you've only killed like rapists and like murderers or something.
Yeah, what a wimp you are.
Yeah, Darla's like, you're being a pussy ass bitch. Like, get your shit together, please, for goodness sake.
And then Angel has to save Darla, right? Because so then Lindsay takes Darla to
or he
in
thinks
present
he
day.
Does, right?
Right. Yeah. It's a whole setup because Bernard from Lost he did a double cross. He did a big fake out.
Oh, thank you for helping me figure out where everybody
these are how I know
these
them
episodes
all.
Are from. Yeah. Okay.
And so while Angel does rescue Darla, it's what Bernard from Lost wanted all along, and he had to dupe Lindsay because Lindsay just had his dick hard for Darla, like any man would.
So lawyers are the bad guys in this show. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, also cops because Kate sucks so much, but they're corrupt lawyers. So
corrupt lawyers, cops.
Corrupt lawyers,
interesting,
suck, and cops. Because Kate.
No, I've seen a bunch about it. Okay. I interrupted to ask a question about the show that no one is wondering if they're watching it.
I mean, the whole thing is at the end, Angel grabs the baby and leaps out a window. And then and then Darla leaves in the morning. Like, yeah. So
because he won't kill her. He won't turn her into a vampire.
She wants to be a vampire again because she's like, this is torture. I don't want a soul. I want to be a baddie. I want to just kill and not think about it. And you've ruined me. I did you a favor. I made you a vampire once. Reciprocate, Angel. And he's like, I won't deign to curse you with that affliction. Oh no.
Cordy was funny. Every line she said was great.
Cordelia, incredible.
There's a good reason it's called Cordy's Corner, because everything,
she's the best.
When Angel was like, I can't hear it now, and she's like, it's Darla on the phone.
Yeah.
Like, don't you want to? She's great.
Cordy's the best of every episode always. But Darla's
even
great.
How Angel's like, I'm alone now, and Cordelia's like, what about us? Like, she's so sincere too. I love Cordelia.
Mm-hmm. So that was basically the episode of Angel that we watched. It was a surprisingly really good one. Like, probably one of the better episodes of the show in general. Mostly because Darla, because she's a queen and an icon and we love her. And because Daddy Vamps. Anytime Daddy Vamps makes an appearance, count me in, baby, because I freaking love that guy.
I think, and someone should correct in feedback, but I'm pretty sure that at some point these shows were on the same network and then they switched. And so it was harder to do these sort of
the crossover things,
fluid crossovers. But the reason I liked it is because it felt like it was a part of the other episode. Like, it was like, okay, you thought you knew what was happening in these flashbacks, but there's actually a whole other story going on. And I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
So that was that. Those were our episodes of Buffy and Angel. Great,
fantastic,
great pair of episodes. It's just incredible. And Sarah, good news for you is no Angel next week for you. You're taking a week off of Angel.
Snaps.
So we're going to be covering next week season 5, episode 8, Shadow of Buffy, and season 2, episode 8, The Shroud of Ramen.
Ramen. That's one of my favorite things to eat recently. I've gone back into ramen.
Please visit
LA.
We can go to
like
great
that ramen.
Ooh,
but
places.
Yeah.
No, not bougie ramen, like top ramen.
Oh, mine's somewhere in between. It's like a hole in the wall place that is the most fantastic ramen you'll eat. I don't know if that sounds good.
Now
to
I
you.
want that. Oh.
Yeah, it's called Chibiscus in LA, if anyone's LA based, and it's in this strip mall, and it's literally just this small place. They've got this great like sugary French toast dessert too.
Ooh.
It's a really good ramen place.
So yeah, we'll see next episode.
Shroud of Ramen.
I don't know.
Shadow.
That means.
You guys
that's for Buffy.
Shadow. The shadow of ramen.
Shadow.
Do you think that all ramens have a shadow? I think like probably.
I wish every episode of Buffy and Angel was just a great Buffy episode, and then Angel showing like something else that was happening to the side. Like I wish that was all Buffy. Angel was. Yeah.
I wonder if this is more Dawn forward, like living in Buffy's shadow, like if we're looking at it that way. But it's probably something like there's a shadow demon. Like I can say what I want it to be, and then what it probably is. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens next episode.
Shadow. Yeah.
But Hannah, thank you so much for coming on and chatting with us.
Thank you for having me. It's always so fun. Like I have a great time, and I'm honored to come back. Everybody should send in nice feedback and good reviews so that nobody cries. And yeah, I'll be back again if you'll have me, because I just love podcasting Buffy. And I believe the next time I'll be back though will be on a panel of people. So I'm excited to do that. I believe that is in the works.
That is correct. Yes,
and
that will be next time.
Because there was too much love for the episode that I will come back for on my panel. There was too much love. It's too many of us know every word to every song in that episode. So it was too competitive.
Yes. So that will be next time.
Fun.
Sarah, anything else you have going on you want to tell everyone about?
I was on another podcast for the first time in a while. Look at me.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Wow. I mean, I went on Whirlwind Investigations, and I covered the movie Galaxy Quest, which is a 1999 movie. We could have covered it here, but no, we did not because but it was fun. I had a good time podcasting with Melissa and Adam. So
Great. Go check that out. And if you want to hear more from me, go over to Talking Shit, where I'm covering Schitt's Creek with Stuart, and we're almost done. And it's very sad because it's almost over.
That is, I love Schitt's Creek. Yeah, if you want to, I'm not promoting anything, just my Instagram. If you want to go
do it
there, it's at Hannah Lilnesson. I post
follow
pictures
Hannah on Instagram.
sometimes. I feel like I almost interrupted you to plug that. Now I feel like the dirtiest person in the room.
You did not.
You know,
I say the same shit every single week. They know where they can find me.
Yeah.
This is always a treat. Y'all are really getting, more and more into the, y'all are in the heart. And now why, like, when guests would come on and like Anya came on screen for the first time, why everyone else was like, oh my gosh, or like the layers. You're now in the layers.
We're in the layers.
You're in the layered show. Like every character has like a whole history now. So thank you for having me on again.
Thank you so much for coming, Hannah. And we will be back next week with Shadows, whatever the heck that means. So
and ramen.
That's something about ramen. So until then, everyone, here endeth the lesson.
Just ask. Shit 90 shows taught me.
Shit 90 Shows Taught Me was not filmed before a live studio audience.